news. I found a solution for the problem that we faced in profit center assessments part 1. So I'm going to explain what is the solution is in the part 2. Okay, so now we are in the topic part 2. Let me explain the problem. Okay, in the change assessment cycle, just go to the first segment and come here, and you need to enter space for the from range in the account number and Z all the way to cover the full field space. This means that the system will select all the account numbers, okay, all the account numbers for the receiver logic selection. There is a bug in the system which is causing this problem. So all you need to do is just enter space in the from range of the account number and Z all the way to the in the to range, so that the system will select all the account numbers for the receiver profit centers. I'll try to explain to you later what it means. Let me say this and prove to you that it will work if we do this. I may quit and come back to execute assessment cycle. Now you can enter, same thing, execute. Now the error message has vanished. You can see the number of receivers is 2, the number of sender is 1, which means that one profit center, which is the common profit center, is going to send the values to bikes and cars according to the proportion. So let us look at number of receivers. Click on this. You can see the amount of 2000 is apportioned to bikes and cars according to the tracing factor ratio. So floor space that we entered is 300 and 700, so is allocated accordingly. 600 is allocated here, and 1004 is allocated to cars. Alright, before we post this, let me correct myself, because earlier I told you to enter the floor space in the financial accounting statistical key figures, right? That may not be correct. So to prove this, I'm going to reverse that document number 11. I apologize for this wrong information. It should be posted to the profit center accounting module, which is here. Alright, over here. I got confused because of the error that we encountered in part 1. So I thought the floor space should be entered in the account FI area, but it's not so. I strongly believe that you don't have to enter in the FI area. You need to enter in the profit center accounting area. Let me show you. Cars and bikes and cars. To prove this, I'm going to reverse the entry made in FI area. Okay, this entry is made in the profit center accounting area, right? So let us go to the accounting area. Where is that? Okay, let me go open a new session. I'm going to reverse the floor space that we entered in the FI area over here. Before that, let me display. Alright, this is the one that we entered in the FI area, the floor spacing, and this is the one we entered in the profit center accounting. This is the one we entered in the profit center accounting module 9KE5. So I'm going to prove to you that the statistical key figures from the profit center accounting will be used and not the statistical key figures that we entered in the FI. This is the one we entered in FI, and this one we entered in profit center accounting. Let me check the period values. Is 300, okay, for January, and for cars is all 700. Okay, let me reverse for financial the floor space that we entered in the FI module. Okay, I'm going to reverse. Roasted, yes, you reversed. So let me check the values now. Okay, it is reversed. Okay, we can see the negative amounts. So what is remaining is a floor spacing that we entered in the profit center accounting. Let's execute the assessment now. Okay, now we have proven that the floor spacing that we entered in the FI module is not actually needed. The system is using the floor spacing that we entered in the profit center accounting module. So once you enter in the profit center accounting module over here, that should be sufficient for the system to retrieve the values from here. Because I can say this for sure, because we have reversed the values that we entered in the FI module. Okay, so it's not being used. Now let us examine the results here. So the receiver profit centers are bikes and cars, and cost element that will be posted to is rental cost element. This is assessment cost element that we created. Okay, and tracing factor which is used is 300 and 700 respectively, is allocated accordingly. Now we're going to post it. Okay, now let us check segment 1. Yep, sender values is okay. Alright, let us do the actual posting now. Let's come back. We'll remove this and execute. Okay, it's posted now. Let me check the postings. Okay, let us go to bikes and cars profit centers and analyze the values. Controlling profit center accounting, things, line items, actual line items, bikes. Come here, we'll enter bikes and cars. Execute. So I can see the rental income, okay, which is posted from partner profit center common. It's posted from partner profit center, which is common. common profit center. So we have got 600 and 1400 which is allocated now. So these incomes will be added to the total profit, which is 3300. Okay, now let me check common profit center, what it has in common profit center. Profit center common, you can see $2,000 initially posted using the P&L account 70002 other income, which is, let me clear off the other entries here. So I'm going to clear off the costs. Okay, now execute again. So it's clear now. So initially we got 2000 from this account posting, then later on we transferred 600 to bikes using the assessment cost element rental. So 600 is debited to common profit center, and 1004 is debited from common profit center, and bikes and cars is credited accordingly. This is good. Okay, and let us bring in all the profit centers, bikes and cars. You can see all in a nutshell. Okay, rental income 6,000 is debited from common profit center and credited into bikes profit center, right? And then 1004 is debited from common and credited into costs. All right, so far so good. Let me explain a bit about the error that we faced just now and how it was resolved. Okay, when we come to the receiver tracing factor, we did not enter this earlier, right? The reason why the system wants this is, let me show you something. Go to database view. SE16 is to see the values in the underlying tables. Let me go to GLPCT. GLPCT is a table which stores the profit center values. Okay, let me show you something. 8A is our ledger. Don't worry about all this, just an extra information. Okay, sun controlling area. Now come here. Okay, these two entries here where the account number is blank is actually keeping the statistical key figures that we entered. Let me double click this so that you can zoom into. You can see the statistical key figures that we entered. See, 700 for period 1, 01 is period 1, 02 is period 2, and the statistical key figure is this, and the 300 for bikes is over here. Double click so you can see 300 that you entered. Yeah, for the statistical key figure floor space. So what the system is doing is that when you don't enter account number here, it is using the rental, it is using the what you call the assessment cost element that you entered in the segment header to filter for the account number. So what the system is doing is that it's filtering by version 0 and statistical key figure. Let me pull the statistical key figure here. Go here. Okay, remove all. We'll select this days, version, fiscal year, and account number is important, and profit center is important. Statistical key figure is important, and these two fields are important. Copy. Let us look at this now. Alright. Okay, let's remove this. We don't need must be able to hide this. It's like I can't hide this, so let me go to this and hide using this. Okay, the reason I hide the second quantity is because that is meant for the February month. What we need is the January month's quantity, which is 700, 300. So when you leave this account number empty, the system is using the assessment cost element to filter for the statistical key figures stored in the GLPCT table. So when it's using the assessment cost element to filter the account number, it will not receive the values, these two values. So that's the reason it's saying that no value receivers. So in order to overcome this, we need to enter space and ZZZ to specify that the system should check all the account numbers in this table, so that it can find the statistical key figure floor space. This one, version is matching here, version is matched here, and the statistical key figure is matched here, and what is not matching is only the account number. Because if you leave it empty, if you leave this empty, the system will filter using the cost element, assessment cost element, account number that you enter, which is rental, and rental is over here. So it will not match with this because account number for statistical key figures is empty. Since it's empty, you need to enter all values, something like this. So we will check for empty to all values, empty to all values. So if this empty will match with this empty value here. So that's the reason it's able to select these two line items in order to calculate the receiving value factors. Can you understand this? Actually we can enter something like this. If you enter only space, the system will not select this, because if you leave it empty, SAP will think that there's no entry here. So in order to make sure that empty is included in the range, selection range, you need to enter something like this, so that this empty space will be considered as a empty space in order to match against this empty space here. Okay, this is a bug in the system, so we can't do anything about it, we just work around it. Now I'm not going to save it because it's already done. So have you understood how the bug has been fixed? So now we have concluded the profit center assessments.